Welcome back to my F125 Drive Crew Mode. This is part number 9 today for the Austrian Grand Prix. If you missed the previous episode at Canada, I recommend going and check that out before seeing this one because, spoiler, my DRS broke in that episode. It's a little bit annoying, but yes, nevertheless, still got some points. And yes, it is very tight for P4 in the Constructors' Championship. Now, R&D wise, we've got some Venturi tunnels. I think that's the rear downforce upgrade. It is that Albon purchased. I kind of want to get that one on. There's not really a lot. We've still got that weight reduction upgrade. I think it is not redistribution. Excuse me, upgrade impending. We've also got minor ERS. I'm going to purchase front downforce though. I think that's the one to balance out the car. And Albon will purchase ERS for me as well. As race is going to be a mixed bag in terms of weather because the start of it is going to be some light rain. So when that crossover period will be, that's going to be interesting. In terms of R&D performance, McLaren have brought an upgrade to try and counteract Red Bull at their home Grand Prix. Ferrari have jumped Mercedes as well. We brought some upgrades. Aston have brought some upgrades, and we try and distance ourselves from the bottom 4 teams on the grid. Just to note also, this is what likely is going to be Friday's British Grand Prix episode, recorded on the previous patch. So yet to see how expensive R&D is actually going to be in the new patch.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us, and the track action will be getting underway very shortly. I've got Anthony Davidson, Naomi Schiff alongside me. Before we focus on that, Naomi, I'd just like us to consider some of these big rumours that are circulating at the moment about driver moves up and down the paddock. Just how distracting is it to focus on putting in strong performances at the same time as negotiating your future?
Well, it can be a really big distraction, particularly for the drivers who are out of contract at the moment. And for them, it's going to be the challenge of managing what they're doing off track and compartmentalizing that from what happens on track, because we know that this next decision in their career is going to be a big one. So that can put a lot of pressure on your shoulders, but you don't want that to put so much pressure on your shoulders that you start overdriving, making mistakes, because you know in this sport, you can go from hero to zero in an instant.
I mean, easier said than done, Anton. As we pass by a driver now who's considering their future, even if you've got a contract, they're not necessarily even worth the paper they're written on. You've got to keep putting in really big, impressive performances.
It's an industry that demands perfection from not just the team, but the drivers as well, first and foremost. So if you start to relax in any way, even if you have a multi-year deal in place, like you say, not worth the paper it's written on, because you can be kicked out before you know it. If the performances start to slip, the team will have their eye on you straight away and you'll be out the door.
So no room for complacency. Let's see who can put in some big performances on track today. All the action up next. Don't go anywhere.
I apologise for you having to sit through that, but I thought I'd play it in entirety because it is a cutscene, and cutscenes in F125 are pretty rare. So yes, but ignoring that, we're going to move to qualifying, and for the first time in a couple of years, it's not a sprint qualifying session here at Austria. It's also Austria the right way round 2. Reverse Austria is coming in season 2. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, here's my fastest lap at the end of the session. First lap was good enough for P10. Austria is a good track for me as well. Austria, probably one of my best tracks now. That they fiddled about the penultimate corner at Spain and made it worse for me anyway, in terms of pace. Maybe not in terms of racing, but in terms of pace for me, Austria now has the better pace for me compared to Spain. Obviously Barcelona's going from the calendar after 2026. But anyway, I've talked through my lap as I usually do without actually talking about what's happening on screen. 2/10 up on the previous best time. First up to turn 4 is pretty easy. There's only a couple of braking zones here. It's this section I lose the most amount of time to the AI. The AI always seem to be sometimes have a bit more speed up to turn 10 and 11 here at the final corner as well. Swooping round it there, 3/10 gained in previous bet time. Keep to the left, up to the line, and I think that was P10. So effectively, I've gone from P10 to P10. Albon up in P4. Fair play. to Alex there. That's more like it, you know, from his AI compared to real life there. Ahead of Mercedes as well. We're both ahead of both Mercedes. Real bits back. Ocon up in 7th as well. Piastri all the way down in 9th. Hamilton struggling in 11th. So yeah, we'll see what we can do from 10th grid. Time for the race.
It's race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. We are just a few moments away from lights out and our drivers thinking about navigating the Niki Lauda curve as it was renamed in 2019 in memory of one of Formula One's most beloved figures. We have wet conditions today, 10 corners out there for the drivers, 7 to the right and 3 to the left, making up a total distance of 2.6 miles. It is very easy to run wide, especially in these wet conditions. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he will start from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Albon, George Russell and Tsunoda, Ocon, Alonso, Piastri and Phoenix, Hamilton, Hülkenberg, Pierre Gasly and Stroll, Lawson, Antonelli, Gabriel Bortoletto and Ollie Behrman, Hadjar and Jack Doohan. And now it's time to head down to the track. And so we welcome you to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me for this race, and it's going to be some race, is Anthony Davidson. Well, this is the most advanced sport anywhere on the planet. How's it changed since you were last racing?
The cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was about 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometers an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance, but because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
We're going to need you to push hard if we want to get another points finish today. Let's make it happen.
For once, Mark, my qualifying hasn't let me down. We're actually up in P10, which will be 1 point today. Race strategy is going to start on the inters here. It is raining, of course, remember that. 5 red lights for a wet start here in Austria, and away we go. And it's an okay start. I've never been a great starter in the wet. It could be worse, it could be chucking it down the way. I'm going to send it down the inside of Oscar Piastri as it on 3 wide between Tsunoda. I think that was Ocon and Alonso there. But now I've got Piastri's coming back at me. I'm going to have to use some ERS. I don't want to use too much overtake because I want to keep the overtake. Thought about going for the dive bomb, but there was just that gap was just getting close. Smaller and smaller all the time. Now Piastri's coming back though from turn 3 to turn 4 again. Not trying to use too much ERS. I'm just going to send it here down the inside. It's a comfortable move. He's broken way too early there, and up to P9 as well. Behind me we've got Hamilton against Hülkenberg as well. Hülkenberg trying to do the same what I did to Piastri, but not quite getting the same amount of braking applied as well, and that is Verstappen hanging around the outside of Norris to retain the lead there. Albon is up in P3 right now. He's jumped Leclerc, so great start by Alex there. Can he keep that position? He hasn't done the polling yet in this career mode. What? DRS has been enabled, but it's raining. So yes, I know you get this. I think this is them trying to match real life, where you see those periods on the inters where DRS gets enabled before they actually pit. But it is still raining, and obviously, nevertheless, in this career mode, it is a sign that it's time to pit. As well as you see a replay here, I've talked over this overtake on Alonso there, as well, and up to P8 there. So yes, but I've dropped off of Ocon and Tsunoda. Alonso tried to come back through turn 10. I'm coming into the pits. It's time to make that call. Will this actually work though? I'd love to be able to have super extra time now, but you can see here that it's still raining. I think this is a bug. DRS should not have been enabled, but let me know if you've seen this in the comments below. DRS getting a little bit too early. We know from previous F1 games, sometimes it does look a lot wetter than what it actually is, which is very frustrating in terms of the gameplay as well. As I've said before, wet gameplay doesn't look good on this game, in terms of what I think anyway. As well, Piastri, anyway, back to the race. Piastri unfortunately jumped me there. I'm now, however, being able to get the jump on Ocon. So, and Albon as well. Albon was up in P3, is now P10. That will be P8 once some people pit. It's two back markers who haven't yet to stop for some bizarre reason, as well. So that will make us P6. Ocon, yeah, is all over the back of me. This is interesting to see from Ocon. I haven't really raced him too much. He has been in the points so far this season as well. Up at the front, Verstappen does have the lead, as he usually has in the career mode, but Norris is right behind. Leclerc is currently P3 in front of Piastri and Russell, but Piastri down the inside to make this a double McLaren podium. 2-3 that are helping their Constructors' Championship battle with Tsunoda down the order as well, and Piastri is in front of Leclerc as well. Ocon is all over the back of me. I'm going to not allow this. I'm going to send it down the inside again, and add DRS just as a bonus as well there. But yes, Albon then gets in front of Ocon. I'm pretty sure if I didn't have an objective right now, they'd be telling me to let Albon pass, but I'm not going to do that. And you know what? Let's battle this out. Why not? As well, we are on different strategies, of course, but we have to see if any of the AI will actually make a pit stop as well. And that's Piastri's lost out to Leclerc. Must have been turn 1, because that's how the AI gets held up. And now he's lost out to Russell as well. I'm going to try and squeeze out onto the pit wall. Seems that they like turn 1. Here's where they're so slow out of turn 1 when they're on the inside there. To be fair, Albon's been able to hold on there, and yeah, it's time to make a second stop. Now, there's what, 9 laps left to go, so it's not too bad. 36% on the rears, that's just typical, unfortunately. The only real way to get around it is to have high wings, but then you lose out on the straights to the AI. So yes, another set of mediums though, so I will still have that tyre advantage and a refreshed tyre advantage. Now, it is last place. I'm hoping some of the AI will pit. We can get back to P6, but of course I'm going to have to make some overtakes before potentially they even think about pitting. Maybe about like 20, hopefully. We'll have to wait and see. Some of them will probably go to the end, annoying is it make easy work of Hadjar there. It is Bortoleto and Behrman squabbling over mediocre P17. Both of these, again, are capable of better things IRL, but their ratings really restrict them, unfortunately, in the game, as it's an easy move on Bortoleto around the outside. Next up is Doing, and I just need to get past ASAP, really. You know, I'm a man on a mission, really. Down the inside at turn 10. This is an unorthodox position to make the move. It's going to be inside to the final corner, and Doing eventually yields the position here. I'll show you a replay because this is very unusual to make a move here at turn 10. And then obviously Doing kept his foot in, fair play to him, though he just really needs to try and lose as least amount of time as possible in his race, because you know we are not racing him basically in a much better, we are on a faster car with better tyres there. And yeah, it might have barged him a little bit out of the way at the final corner, but he should have potentially yielded early. And this is just a textbook manoeuvre. You know, Lawson just moves out the way basically. It's a comfortable manoeuvre up to P15. Next up is Andrea Kimi Antonelli in the Mercedes. How do I go here at turn 4? But then try and get the better traction out of turn 4, and that is just better tyres. Clearly the AI are struggling with tyre wear at this moment in time, but yeah, it's only no contact there, by the way, between myself and Antonelli. I should stress that I did not barge him out of the way at that corner. Antonelli, I think, just struggling with the rear tyres there. So I've got Scazzi and Strong. The sender on Gasly now. I can't be affording these two squabbling. And then get the better traction out of turn 3 on Stroll. That is too easy an overtake as well. I'm going to check that there's no damage on the car, which fortunately there is not. Stroll, for some reason, decides to come back, and I'm just going to chop him off at turn 4. and retain P12. Next up is Lewis, who decides to move to the right, so I'll move to the racing line. Thanks, Lewis. Bye bye. And up to P11. Although Lewis wants to keep behind because he wants me to. I can drag him up to these 3 cars, which is fighting to the back end of the points. Easy work of Alonso out of that corner, and now I've got Sonoda and Hulkenberg. This is for P8. This might be what highest we can achieve, really, unfortunately. Easy work of Hulkenberg, takes manoeuvre turn 4. Next up is Sonoda, who goes the inside. Thank you very much. We'll get the DRS as well to confirm the position. Even if we don't get it, it doesn't really matter anyway. We didn't get it. I'm able to out traction Sonoda. Unfortunately, not able to catch Ocon or Albon. To be fair, Albon probably deserved P6. You know, he probably got screwed over, but in the pit stops, definitely, because he was P3 before the pit stops came out in P8. So I don't think he'll be too particularly happy with that. But yes, I'm a little bit annoyed at the game not having variance in strategy. The fact that they all went to the hard tyres at the end is just diabolical, really. I'm hoping that they will look at that in the future. But 108.6, I'm happy with my pace today. That's really the maximum I could have done. I did not feel like the hard tyres. And again, another thing that they do need to look at is AI tyre wear, because they have an advantage over the play in terms of that thing. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, as it were, Leclerc I think has closed in on Norris for P. They're squabbling over P2, but they're way behind Verstappen, so it doesn't really matter. As well, obviously I keep P8. In terms of the constructors, we have a 1 point advantage over Mercedes. That's the focus here as well. Can I keep that advantage? Obviously, we're fighting against Russell. We have championship points now, 52, I think. So I think because we've got 50 championship points, we get that accolade. We're beating, and that has helped us get up to 70 rated. Which poor Isaac there with his 69 rated. It should be at least, well, minimum 79 rated, even possibly even in, I think personally, into the 80s, really, considering what he's achieved this season as well. Even though that's a bit of a glitch, we are actually 70 rated, but I actually lost percentage and recognition. Not that there is going to really affect anything, just as long as we go before 45%, because then that means we can't rush stuff as well. We've unlocked pretty much what we need to unlock at the moment. We'll try and gain that back to 50% at the next race, which will be out later this week. So yeah, Albon, he's in a bit of a roll. Apart from Spain, which was a painful race with my DNF, him finishing P14 for the team. You know, we're on a good roll. First time he's beaten me since Miami as well, which was less said about that race, the better. Next race at Silverstone, set my home Grand Prix. That episode will be out on Friday, probably most likely. As well, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to not miss that video. Also, a little bit of note, I'm going to try and progress through this series. I do need to start work on some liveries for next season, which is slightly annoying because it means that the retro round, which, you know, the retro liveries that kickstart the fantasy livery series, will probably be slightly delayed, which is unfortunate, but all these patches, every time I have to reinstall all the mods, etc, etc. So yes, but that's where I'm going to leave it today's video. Have enjoyed it, like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. See plenty more F125 driving community videos. Adam coming out until the next video then. I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.